So you've seen Ankara palazzos and you've seen Ashoke details, but mixing them is where most people get it wrong. In this video, I'm showing you the exact patch placement and cutting hack that no one teaches. So your Ankara plus Ashoke palazzo pants looks designer made and not just DIY. Let's get into it. So guys, here on my work table, I have a strand of my Ashoke and also I have 3 yards of Ankara fabric, okay? Although this is not really matching, but I just want to use it for the tutorial purpose. So now as you can see, I'll just go ahead and make a fold on the Ankara on the wrong side so I can start drafting out the front piece of the trouser. So after making your folds, go ahead and measure the length of your trouser pants. So all you need to do is just to place your tape rule this way and determine the length you want to use for your pants, okay? So go ahead now and just like mark the length before drafting out the waistline. So on the waistline here, I'm going to take away 1.5 inch for the band, and then I'm going to rule a starting line for the waist, okay? So just go ahead and place your tape rule this way, minus 1.5 inch, and then leaving the tape as it is on that line, come down by your crotch measurement, okay? So for my clients, I'm going to come down by 12. So for you to get your crotch measurement, go ahead and just divide your hip circumference by 4 and add 1 inch. Another way to get your crotch depth is to sit on a flat surface and then place your measuring tape on your waistline, then come down to the surface of what you are sitting on, like a chair, and then just mark what you got there. So after marking 12 inch for my crotch depth, I'm just going to use the line to identify it as you see me doing, and then from there I'll come upwards by 2 inches, okay? So go upwards from that particular line and mark 2 inches, and that will serve as your hip line. So after drawing a line like this, all you need to do now is just to go ahead and impute the circumference of your body, like your thigh measurement and your hip circumference, okay? So before doing that, please remember to extend this part by 1 inch. So I'm supposed to draw a line of 1 inch for the margin, okay? Let me just call it margin. So just draw a line about of 1 inch or 1.5 inch for your margin like this, so that way you can have an allowance to give when you are stitching the trouser pants. So I'm used to drawing it on a pattern paper, but this time around I forgot and I thought I was using pattern paper. So I just have to go ahead and adjust it this way, and there's not too much of any difference. So after drawing 1.5 inch measurement from there, I went ahead to connect the line and I labeled the lines. So we have our crotch depth, we have our hip line and our waistline there. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to put the circumference for our hip line on this part. So I'm going to measure it on the crotch depth and also on the hip line and also on the waistline. So on these 3 consecutive lines, I'm going to be marking my quarter of my hip circumference. So after marking the dots, I went ahead to place my ruler this way, and I'm just going to draw a straight line to connect that dot, and that will serve as our center line, okay? That's going to serve as our center front, okay? So on that center front is where we're going to be taking our body measurements, which will enable us to come outwards and have what's left on the side. If that makes sense to you, what I mean is that I'm going to be taking my measurements right now from the center front, okay? So the next thing you need to do now is to go ahead and place your measuring tape on your crotch depth, okay? On your crotch depth, measure what you have there for your thigh. So normally for the thigh, you take a round measurement on the fullest part of your thigh, very close to your crotch, okay? And that part that goes around your hip and your butt and your ankles, divide it by 2 and place what you get on this line. Or better still, you can still divide your hip circumference by 20 and mark what you get on the extension for the crotch. For this tutorial, I'm making use of hip size 43 inches, and that divided by 20 gives me 2.1 inch. So I'm just going to use that on the crotch extension as you have seen. And then on the hip line, I'm going to come outwards by 0.5 inch, so that way I can make a very smooth curve from the crotch extension into the center front. So guys, after I was done connecting, I went ahead to add extra 1 inch for the sewing allowance, okay? So add the 1 inch on the out seam and also on the inseam of this trouser pants. So before doing that, I'll come at the waistline here. I'm going to determine the measurements for my waistline. So my waist circumference is 34. And I'm just going to divide that into 2 to get what I have here. And I'll also add a dart intake of 1 inch and also extra sewing allowance of 1 inch. After which, I'm going to connect the line to the hip line, okay? I'm using a straight ruler, but you can make use of your hip curve ruler to achieve this as well. Now, after you're done with that, the next thing to do is to come to the center front line and come down by 0.5 inch for the shaping of the waist, okay? So just go ahead and connect a diagonal line like this all the way to the side of the waist, the way you see me doing, and that is it for the shaping. And then to determine the wideness of this palazzo pants, you need to come down at the mid section of the pants. Go ahead and place a measuring tape like this and take away the 1.5 inch at the waistline for the band, and then measure all the way to the hip line and then also the crotch line. Take note of that. And then at this point, you mark the length of your knee. For this tutorial, I'm making use of 25 inches. So connect the lines and draw a straight line this way. So I'm going to label it as K for the knee line. And then I'll proceed to take the measurements from the hip line and place it on that knee line, adding extra 1 inch to make it 12 inch. So you can also take the round measurement of your knee and then divide it by 2, adding extra 2.5 inches on both sides each, and then connect a straight line to get the midpoint before marking it. So I'm going to mark extra 1 inch to make it 12 inches in total, and then connect it to the crotch with the ruler. So after I was done bringing out the front pattern of the trouser, I'm going to add allowances at the side. So take note that this sewing allowance on the waistline is not supposed to be there. I later trimmed it out. So I'm just going to mark everything all sides and then also add the same allowance on the inseam. And also while cutting, I left 1/2 inch at the waistline at the top and then also at the curve as you see me doing. So I'm just going to add 1/2 inch all through so that way I won't fall short of fabric when I'm joining them together. And what's left is to cut out the sewing allowance on the inseam all the way down and then head over to cut the back. So for the back piece, I'll go ahead and make a fold on the wrong side and also make sure that it's wider than the front, both in width and the length. At the top, I have about 2 inches space, and then at this side I have 1 inch, and also at the side of the inseam I have about 3 inches. So I'm just going to measure 2 inches at the top like this for the back waistline, and then I'll mark it that way, and also I'll connect it diagonally into the side of the waist, making sure it aligns with the front waistline. So I'll just go ahead and connect with the ruler and make sure that everything matches on the side, and then at the crotch area I'm going to extend it by about 2 inches as well, just the way we did for the front. And then from that point I'm coming downwards by 1/2 inch and I'll mark it like so and connect it into the crotch length, and then I'll use my curve ruler to make a curve to connect it into the front line. Now I'm going to also measure 2 inches like this and then just mark it all the way down to the length of the trouser. And I'll also go ahead to connect the lines just the way you see me doing. I'll connect this line all the way to the length, making sure that it's still 2 inches to the end of the hemming line before cutting. So guys, after cutting, this is what I have. So I'm just going to impute the darts because we have given allowance for the darts. So I'll go ahead now and measure 4 inches from the center front, and then I'm just going to mark that point and then also come downwards by 4 inch for the front dart leg. And I also didn't forget to extend the dart into the back piece. So after drawing the lines, I went ahead to knot that point to get the dart, okay? So that way when I'm stitching, I'm just going to follow the knot that I made. So on the back dart, I'm going to extend it downwards by 5 inches, okay? So I'll go ahead and just mark that and then connect the lines just like I did for the front. After marking the line, the next thing I did was to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of the dart and then do the same thing for the front. And then I'm going to label this as the back piece while this is going to serve as a front, okay? You already know. So I'm just going to set the back piece aside and work on the front concerning our Aso Oke patch design. So I'm just going to pick which side of the front that is most convenient to me, and this is the one I used, and I'm going to turn it on the right side and measure what I have for my hip line and also my crotch depth. And that is what I'm going to use as a guide to mark the place where I want to add our Aso Oke design. So I'll go ahead and connect it with a straight ruler to draw a straight line. This is going to be my hip line, okay? And then the second part is my crotch depth. So on the crotch depth, I'm going to come downwards by the amount of space I want to give for the Aso Oke patch, and I'm just leaving about 4.5 inches here, but I regretted that. I'm supposed to make it about 6 inches downwards. But that's not an issue. I'm going to correct that later on. So go ahead and mark 6 inches instead of 4.5 inches, okay? And then draw a slanted line all the way from that part to the crotch depth line. And as you can see, I've drawn the line. And all you need to do now is just go ahead and bring your Aso Oke strands, divide it into 2, and join it to achieve the width we are seeing on the display image, which is right here on the screen. And with that being said, I'm going to determine which part is the front and the back of this Aso Oke, so that way I don't make a mistake of misplacing them. Because this particular one already has a difference from the back and the front. The front is more shinier than the back. So I'll go ahead now and share it into two pieces. As you can see, it can cover the length of what we are trying to achieve. And that is not a problem. I'll go ahead and share this and make sure that I, duplicate it and join them together just the way we usually join our scarf. Okay, so I'll just join them like this with the right side facing each other and make a tiny stitch of about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to stitch it off camera and get back to you. So guys, this is what I had after I was done stitching it on the middle. As you can see, I've already gone ahead to iron it in place and make it more flatter. Always make sure you iron it out to get a very neat work. So now I'm going to make the patch you are seeing on the screen, and that is going to be achieved using this line that we have drawn initially. So just go ahead and make a little fold like this. Okay, make sure that you take it to and the also edge long enough to cover the length line. Of your pants. Make sure that it's make sure that you take it to the edge of the inner seam and make sure you cover everything you see around there and iron it out. Also use your pins to secure it in place before taking it to the sewing machine to stitch it. And just before you stitch, make sure you leave about 1/2 inch here, so that way you can also fold in this edge and stitch it all the way down to the length. So as you can see in the picture, this edge is folded and it's a bit slanted. So just, you all know that Aso Oke is always stiff. So go ahead and press it and also use your pins to secure it in place. And before stitching, cut off these excesses you have underneath the first stitch. Okay, and after you're done, make sure to take it back to the machine and stitch it all the way along the sides. So guys, I've gone ahead to stitch it and I'm cutting out the excesses I have there, and I will bring it back this way and make the fold on the side which I have speculated initially. When I was done stitching, I went ahead to bring the second leg of the trouser and I placed them right sides facing each other. I'm going to be making a stitch by 1/2 inch on the crotch and repeat the same thing on the back as well, and also fix the dart. And this is what I had after I was done joining the side. I'm going to wipe away this chalk line. Okay, this is the back piece. I've already joined it on the crotch by 1/2 inch, and then I will just go ahead now and place them with the right sides facing each other. But before then, I will trim out all these excesses of the Aso Oke which is peeking out on the inseam, and then make sure that I trim the length. So this is what I have on the waistline after I was done closing the dart. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and place the back piece and also close the dart on both pattern. I'll go ahead and align everything together with the right sides facing each other. To be able to close the dart, go ahead and measure what you have on both sides and then pinch it by 1/2 of an inch, and then also do the same thing on the other side. When you take it to your sewing machine, make sure that you pinch them by 1/2 inch using the chalk line that you have marked before stitching it down to the dart leg. And as you can see, I've done that and this is what it looks like. I've gone ahead to also iron it out and also open up the seams and iron them flat. Okay, so that way I won't have any bulging fabric around there. And after you're done ironing, knot the curved areas on the crotch depth. Okay, and that is it for it. And then now you can go ahead and align everything with the right sides facing each other and then stitch them by the allowance we gave initially when we were drafting. So as you can see, my waistline is quite bigger because I added double sewing allowance unknowingly. So I'm going to deduct 1 inch from there, then stitch the sides using the general sewing allowance I gave when I was drafting. So remember, we'll have 1 inch on all sides and also the allowance on the middle, whether it's the inseam or the outer seam. So go ahead now and just stitch everything. Okay, stitch and then get to the end and repeat the same thing on the other side. But for the other side, we are going to be inserting our zipper, and that sewing allowance is going to also serve as a zipper allowance for the side zip. Okay, so I'll go ahead and leave about 8 inches and then stitch all this part all the way down, and then the part I left open is going to serve as our zipper. Now head over to the inseam in between the legs and match them together, making sure that the seams are aligning with each other, and then pin them in place, and then proceed to run a stitch by 1 inch sewing allowance on both sides of the inseam. So this is what I have after I was done stitching. I'll go ahead now and just trim out all this, and then this is what it looks like. Now I'll proceed to iron the seams so that way when I turn it inside out, it will look very nice and flat. And afterwards, when we are done, we are going to head over to the waistline and impute the round waist measurements for the band and also the zipper in place. To get the measurement for your band, go ahead and measure this part. So place your measuring tape this way, running from one end of the side to the other end of the waist side, okay? And all you have to do is just to know what you got there. For me, I got about 38 inches, and I'm just going to cut out a long strip of fabric, folded it into two to get 2 inches, because already we are going to be using ½ inch to join into the waistline, and that will leave us with just ½ inch. So I'm going to press it nicely before cutting it out. Now, after I was done, I went ahead to determine the length for what I need, and then I cut out the excess of what I have left. And then I'm just going to fold it over this way, so that way I can have the front band and the back waistband, okay? So we're going to cut it into two, just the way you see me doing. But to achieve that, I'll go ahead and measure what I have for the front waistband. And this is the pants after I was on joining the sides, okay? And you can see that it's a bit stiff on the inseam. I'm going to use my pressing iron to put it in place and make sure I trim out excesses. Now for the waistband, like I said, I'm just going to measure half parts of this trouser. This means I'm going to be measuring only the front. So I'll place my tape through, including the sewing allowance that I stitched initially. I'll just measure everything, including the sewing allowance, and know what I have all through for the front, so that way I can use the same measurements for the front waistband, and whatever I have there is what I'm going to use to cut out the front waistband. So the sewing allowance is going to be automatically transmitted to the front waistband. So just go ahead and place your measuring tape this way and measure what you got. For me, it's 19 inches. I'm going to cut that out. So I didn't remember to add stay, so I went ahead to add stay to add strength to the waistband before cutting out the front waistband. And after cutting, the remaining part of it is going to serve as the back waistband. So I'll go ahead and just like trim it out this way. And then I'm just going to open them up with the right sides facing each other. I'll be making little adjustments to give the waistline a little snatch. I'll be marking 0.5 inches here, and I'm just going to angle it out towards the end of the band, and I'll be doing the same thing on the other side as well. So when I was done, I went ahead to cut it out like this, and that will leave us with 1 inch snatching for the waistline. So when you're done, just go ahead and stitch it by ½ inch only on one side of the band, because we're going to be inserting our zipper on the other end as well. So this is what I have after I was done. I'll head over to the same machine now and stitch them and get back to you. This is what I had on the band after I was done stitching. I'm going to place it this way and stitch it like we are stitching our skirt band, although you can just go ahead and turn one part of it to secure the other side inwards, okay? And because I'm going to weave it, I left it this way. Now go ahead and stitch it all around by ½ inch, and after you're done, you're going to have something like this. So this is what I had after I was done, and you can see the rough edges here, which is going to be weaved later on. So I'll go ahead now and fix the zipper, and at the same time I'm going to be hemming the lower part. I'll be making bold hemming, okay? I'll turn it twice by ½ inch by 2 inches, so that way we can still have our 42 inches length of the trouser. So I'll do that and get back to you. Now this is the sneak peek of what the Ankara Aso Oke patch palazzo looks like. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next tutorial.